Welcome to the Carmen Zoom video course training. In order to access Zoom, you want to go to zoom.osu.edu. From here, you will log in like you would into any OSU account. When you log in for the first time, an account will automatically be created. You will see this profile page. If you look right here, this is your personal meeting ID. This is the identification number that will be used for people to join your meetings. You can also set your own personal link by using this customized button right here. If you look a little lower, you will notice that you have a pro account. This means that you are able to have up to 300 people in a meeting, and you are also able to record for an infinite amount of time. If you go to the Meetings tab, you'll be able to schedule meetings for the future. You can also access all of the meetings that you have scheduled for the future. This is useful because it allows other users to log into the meeting before the host has logged in. You can start this meeting early if you would like. However, it will not disappear until the designated disappearing time. You can access webinars using the Webinars tab. Webinars are different from standard meetings because they can have a much greater audience amount, up to 10,000 people, and has less access to interaction between the attendees. However, in order to gain access to a webinar, you will need to go to the Zoom resource page to request access to one. If you click on the Recordings tab, you can access all of the recordings that you have made during meetings. It is important to note that these meetings only last 180 days. So if you want to keep these recordings, you will want to save them locally. By going to the Settings page, you will be able to access many different settings that you can use during your meetings. You can change most of these settings during the meeting itself. However, if you change the settings on this page, you'll be able to change the settings for every meeting that you have in the future. If you would like someone to join your meeting, head to your profile page and access your personal meeting ID. You can access it using this or this. It's the same number. To join the meeting, press Join a Meeting and simply copy and paste that code into this box. If you would like to start a meeting, simply press the Host a Meeting button up here. You can choose whether or not to have video starting off as being on or off. From this page, one of two things will happen. Either a Download tab will appear on the bottom left of your screen, in which you simply click on it and follow the on-screen instructions, or you will see a tab like the one on my screen up here that allows you to open Zoom by simply pressing the box. From here, you can choose whether or not for the audio to come through a phone call or through the computer itself. You have now created a meeting. From this page, if you look on the bottom left, you'll be able to access your microphone and audio settings. It's important to note that many times audio may be muted automatically. If you see a red line across the microphone, that means that it is muted. And you want to make sure that if you choose to be heard, that it is unmuted. You will also have access to which microphones and speakers are being used. The same is true for video. If you click on the Invite tab, you have access to additional ways to invite people into your meeting. However, we still suggest that you choose to use the identification code on your profile. The Manage Participants section allows you to interact with different participants inside the meeting and allows the participants to interact with each other. There are several different options, including saying yes, no, telling someone to talk slower or faster, and many more. As a host, you also have access to several other settings. By clicking the Share button, it will allow you to share different aspects of your screen to different viewers. For example, you can share a different desktop that you choose. There's also several other options. You can also choose who is able to share, if multiple participants can share at the same time. However, we do not suggest this as things can get very chaotic and it can be difficult to have more than one screen on a single screen at the same time. By clicking the chat box on the bottom, you'll be able to create a chat box on the bottom right hand of the screen where different participants can communicate with each other via text. The record button allows you to record your meetings. You can choose whether to record it to the computer itself or you can record it to the cloud like we saw earlier. Although there is closed captioning that is provided for live recordings, it actually requires one of your participants to type out the closed captioning. It does not automatically create it for you. You also have access to creating breakout rooms, which is useful if you have a large group of people and you want them to work together in smaller individual groups. When you are finished with the meeting, simply click the End Meeting button. From here, you can choose whether you just want to leave the meeting and leave it up for any other participants, or you can end the meeting for everyone who is involved. This concludes the Carmen Zoom tutorial.